This is Yasmin. This is Jessica.
Hi,
Hi.
Jessica. How are you?
Good. Lovely to meet you.
Um,
Wait.
uh,
I
yes.
was gonna say she's gorgeous.
Bless you. I'll take it.
You're both gorgeous.
I know. I was going to say, I'm living for this today. This is like beautiful, like decor around. It's very bright and very flowery. I love it. So good. Good energy.
Oh, I've got a lot of flowers, girl. I've got tons of flower crowns, so it's all good.
Well, I could see. I seriously, if I was casting a movie, I'd cast you as sisters or cousins or something like that.
Ooh.
There you go.
See a little of that.
So Yasmin. Oh yes, Yasmin's from Performing Arts Studio West, and she does so much work in the community, and she'll tell you. I'll let you guys speak. I'll just sit back. You guys chat.
Tell me about yourself.
Okay, well, where do I start? I am 22 years old. I live in the city of Inglewood, California, and I've been doing I guess before the pandemic happened, I went to the events with ABC7, which is one of the biggest television stations in Southern California. I visited their station 2 years ago during a group studio tour, and let's see, I went to AIDS Walk Los Angeles for 3 years straight, which was one of the most exciting events that I always rave about. And recently, last year for the first time, I went to the East Los Angeles Mexican Independence Day Parade, and it's just a lot of colorful sights to see, women and men dressed up in, I guess in, the culture, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. The dress, everything is gorgeous. And because I'm Mexican American, I love, my culture so much, and I always wear bright colors all the time. Well, right now I'm wearing like black, but right now I got, my yellow to, to show that I love colorful things, if that makes any sense. And I've also been to Lucknow for Autism Speaks for, I think about 2 years from 2000, wait, I think it's about 3 years actually as well. So that's a lot to take, I've been doing a lot. So with this pandemic, I haven't been able to really go anywhere, so I've just been safer at home, or I've been going out on essential errands. So it's been very difficult for me, and I've been developing some sort of I guess with the anxiety and depression, I've been struggling with that for a couple of years. It's one of the hardest things that someone like myself that is very young, and I've been through a lot of bullying, I've been through a lot of negativity in my life, and it took me years to get noticed by, I guess, by one of my favorite television stations, throughout the first early years of social media. And I think I've been on Facebook for a couple of years, and then Instagram, and then Twitter, and so on, and the rest is history. So I really enjoy what I do, but right now, because of the pandemic, it's not allowing me to be anywhere with the people that I adore, not just at the station, but Performing Arts Studio West as well. I have great friends everywhere, in my life, and I will never take that for granted. It's it's been hard because I've been at home most of the time. I've been I'd rather be on the safe side, but if I do need to go out, that's only for the essentials. And I really miss everybody as a whole right now.
Yeah, this time is really testing. This time sort of it's challenged us all in a way that we're not used to. But that doesn't mean it can't be any less productive. It's just about how we look at things, right? So I always try to sort of say to people, what do you do for your routines? Like, what's your daily routines? Because, for me, I had to shift a lot because my entire business, I run an art school. So I do exactly what David does with, and with the PA Studio West and stuff, but I do it for internationals. So what happened to me, all the international flights stopped, and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to handle this? And it's funny that you talk about anxiety and depression, because they were the two very key things that hold on one second, my cat.
I love it.
My cat is right here too. Oh my God. Should we show our cats right now?
Show your cats. I wish I had it. I'll show.
Oh my God, I have 2 cats right now, so if you hear Nala meowing, she's a Turkish Angora.
That was great.
She was just meowing for me to get her.
She was, as soon as I said that I was struggling, she like came over.
This is my cat.
Like,
Your cat.
well, I got something else to cuddle with.
Oh, that was just brilliant. And it's just peered into frame. She really like timed that well.
Right.
No, what I was saying is, so that they're the two very things that I've struggled with. And as an artist, I've got to say that they're the things that happen a lot, and it's one of the things I'm most passionate about is mental health. But I know in order for me to get through this, I had to look at my routines and I had to find new ways to feel good about my day, which is really hard because we get so used to these routines that really help us get through. And I can imagine for you, you really need that structure, right? You really need that structure. So you tell me about your routine. What do you do in the morning?
Well, let's see. The first thing I do, I wake up, I just, watch a little bit of TV, or I make sure that my cats have their food and water. Yes, I have 2 cats, like I mentioned. I just got to make sure that they have everything clean. Oh, dear Lord. Sorry, my mom's in the background right now laughing, so let's just ignore that for right now. She just got back home from selling tamales, so there we go. So anyways, so my routine is obviously getting up, I obviously turn on the TV, I watch a little bit of it, and while that's in the background, I check, what my cats have, like their food and their water, make sure their litter box is clean. And, I have to get myself together with brushing my teeth and, washing my face and so on. And I gotta make sure that that's it's pretty boring, honestly, with my daily routine, because I do chores, almost 6 to 7 days a week, yeah. So it does help me, though, to,
Yes. Well, what I was going to say is, could we put something artistic for you to do every morning? Because one of the things I would say is, I now do a thing because my energy is always really good when I dance or sing, preferably to Madonna of a morning, but it will be anything. And I will put on something and I will just dance around my room for about 5 minutes and remind myself, oh, that's right. I'm alive. I'm lucky. I'm here. I can start this day and I can do anything I want to do. So I was going to say, rather than doing that, could you come on? I would love to. I know that you're a great public speaker. Why couldn't your new routine to come on and share your view for the day on your social media? Yeah. Hi, here I am checking in. My view for the day. Here's a little bit of wisdom, or something artistic that, inspired you, a TV show you want to talk about, an actor that inspired you, something that you had from the day before that you could do. And that's the first thing you do, is something artistic, because that will fill your body full of that endorphins rush that we get when we do something artistic, right? When we sing or we dance or we act or we do anything, we're like, oh my God, that's great. Let me do it again.
I do something artistic on the side. It's more of a hobby when I feel like I'm down. I'm just like, let me put on my music. Let me just sing out loud, in my room. This is actually my closet / nail room because, I obviously do my own nails. I'm not sure if David's told you about it. I'm just kidding.
She has amazing nails. Look at
I know. I've been looking at them. I'm like, envious. Look at it. Stunning.
When this pandemic's over, I'm coming over to your house and you're going to do my nails.
Would you want to have bling on them for an entire day? Oh my God.
I'm in. The manicure is hanging. It's hanging here.
I think this is a good time though, even though it is, quarantine, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. I call it quarantine life because when you say pandemic, it's really scary, but I say quarantine life because I think it's better for the people like myself that are self-taught nail artists. It's a good time for us because we already have our tools, we have everything. I even have my nail drill, I have my LED light, and I have a lot of gel polishes and my brushes. Let me do a little show and tell. These are my brushes that I use whenever it's for nail art or sculpting, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh my God, you just inspired me for something else that you could do. You should do, YouTube is such a great resource. Have you thought about potentially filming yourself doing your nails and showing people and introducing people how to do that? I would not know how to do something like that. That would be so amazing. I mean, I just watching that then, and you were like, I've got all this and I've got all that. And I was like, oh my God, what do those things even do?
And this is how I've got a professional level going on, even though I'm self-taught. I have my little swatching sticks right here of every gel polish I have in my drawer right now. So yeah, I have another one here. It's a bigger collection. That's what she said. Oh, oh goodness. Yeah, I have a lot, of like literally I even have rhinestones that I've collected from Wish or Amazon. Let's be real. I've had a lot of bling and whatnot. So yeah, I've had that question before in regards to, filming a nail tutorial, but I wouldn't know where to start. I don't have a very good cell phone, which is another reason I'm going to be getting one pretty soon, a brand new one, because this one I've had for 3 years. It's been with me throughout the events, and I threw it by accident a couple times, but it still works, and it's I'm team Android for life. But yeah, it's just I definitely would love to, I guess, have like I don't know how to explain it if it makes sense, but I would obviously love to be in the nail industry once this is over, once it's fully safe to reopen, and make sure that everybody's healthy and happy. But right now, because I'm self-taught, yeah, it's just I can't really legally do nails and stuff because I don't have the proper licensing or the education. But what I do on my social media, on my Instagram especially, where I post more of like nail photos and like different content, if that makes sense, I tell people as best as I can, like, don't rip off your nail extensions, because it's going to damage the natural nail plate, for example. So I try to educate as best as I can. Not only
Well,
I
I was
do
going
want
to
to
say, what if we helped you? What if we helped you? Because that's what my business does. So what if we helped you? Because my partner, who is not here, but he is the whiz of home content creation. He even runs a course called Creating Your Own Content. So what if we helped you set up something that you could do, like a 10 tips, tutorial from Yasmin about, how to do nails and take care of nails. And this could be like a project that you could sink your teeth into and have as yours to try and get your mind off all the rest of it and just to refuel that endorphins that you've been missing.
Because I get happy when I talk about my favorite topic, when it's the nail industry or even the beauty industry. It gets me super excited. And when I talk about journalism, yes, it's absolutely the same thing, because I met plenty of newscasters throughout my 3 years of going to events and hanging out with them, and having girl like chit chat time, or girl talk, if that makes if it makes anything plausible. I obviously hung out with a lot of people. Oh my god.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, I would love to help you do that. And like I said, if you ever need our help, the thing is, I think the tough part about depression and anxiety, and I'm going to say for myself, we sometimes feel that there's no one that can help, or there's no one that gets us. We kind of feel like we're alone in the process. Yeah. That's actually what happens. So you keep it all bottled up. And then it gets worse.
Yeah, I've had that a lot.
I know. I feel you, girl. This is my nook, and this is.
I kept everything bottled up, and then on the one day where it's coming out, it's like, oh no, it's all hell breaks loose. It's not, it's not worth it. And I do have people in my life that do have struggles with mental health, or let alone just anxiety or just depression, or or anybody else for that matter. So I can say that not just myself myself who wants to be an aspiring newscaster or being a nail tech, I do have a voice in regards to mental health, because I feel strongly about it. And I also feel strongly about, relevant topics, that are going on in the world right now. I keep myself educated as much as I can, not just with the pandemic, not just with, with the movement of Black Lives Matter, not just with the movement, of these, kids and stuff that are stuck in cages in the ICE detention centers. I have to educate myself as well, not just as an aspiring newscaster, but someone that loves, the beauty industry as a whole, or the, nail industry. I have to educate myself as best as I can, so that I don't look, stupid or anything like that. And with mental health, not many people talk about it. So I feel like it is my duty as someone that's only 22 years old. It's very hard, to go through it, but I do tell people that it's okay. Everyone at some point, we're here for you. You know what I mean? So it's hard to put it into words in regards to what what I've been
beautifully. I think you just put it beautifully into words. I think you just spoke beautifully. I think you've got an incredible voice, And I think we could work together and try and work on you trusting it, because the way that I hear you speak and everything that you're saying is very powerful. And I think it would resonate with so many people. So many people would love to hear from you. And I think you wouldn't know yourself. It's honestly, I think you just spoke really beautiful. For me, you just touched me.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's just that I would love to get my word, out there, no matter what, because I just feel like when people put a label on the term disability, it's just like you're not seeing the talent that we have. There's a lot of people that are in the community that we're talented singers, we're either talented actors or talented musicians for that matter. If I'm not, being mistaken, I don't know how to say it very well, but like, for someone like myself that wants to be into different industries, well, not at the same time, but just, separately in order to pay for, a future college of my choice, here in LA one day. I wish people could not see me as someone that not only has Asperger's syndrome, but for someone that's, that speaks eloquently. And I'm someone that doesn't have a filter, but I can speak very eloquently and I'm very intelligent to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So, I'm very real. I have no filter. So I basically swear a bunch of times a day. David will tell you that. I'm just being serious though.
Hey, we all swear now and then.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, like, I don't have a filter either. I don't have a filter either. You and I are very kindred like that, darling. So, yeah, here's to no filters. Here's to no filter.
Yeah, team no filter. Oh my goodness, without the hashtag. Oh my gosh. I'm turning into Danny Romero. If he watches this, oh hell no. He's one of my favorite weathermen, by the way. So if he watches this, Danny, you better call me up. Psych. Oh, I just had a Cardi B moment right there, sweetie. Oh boy. Like, okay, but seriously though, it's just, oh, I'm happy today for some reason.
Hey, it's Danny.
Mood.
No, I was just joking.
Oh, what?
Oh, no,
that was cool. I know.
Just joking.
Oh, dear Lord. I already had a Skype chat with him a couple of months ago, so I would understand. Oh, goodness. I get excited when I talk about my favorite weatherman. Oh my gosh, I sound like I'm, hooping and hollering, but don't worry, this is just how I talk a lot.
I love how you talk. This is something I have to, work really hard with a lot of my artists on is being able to have the freedom to talk like you do, because so many of them are so afraid of judgment that they never say what they really think, and they never say what they really feel, and they hold on to a lot of stuff. Yeah, because it's a tough industry as it is, and then if everyone's worried about what they're going to say and do, and who's going to judge or who's going to think badly, and it never ends. And so by the time I start working with people, they've already built up so much self-esteem and self-worth issues. And this is this is one of my biggest passions. So, you talk about this, my biggest passion is self-worth and self-esteem. And I don't think that's exclusive to any one community. This is for us all. This is for every single person.
Yeah,
should feel worthy. Yeah. Should feel worthy to be who they are. Yeah, they should worthy to be who they are and have the freedom to say what they feel and think without outside judgment or criticism, especially when it comes from the heart and it's something important.
Oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
I feel you on
totally that. Because I've dealt with that too when I was a lot younger, especially around my middle or high school days. Like I mentioned, I was bullied because I was in special education classes, and because of having autism, I was judged by so many people because I really put myself out there saying that I want to be originally I wanted to be in meteorology, but later I found out until high school where it's very hard, to study in math and science. You have to be really intelligent in those areas. So I was like, no, I'm just going to switch it now to broadcast journalism or communications, whether it's for radio or television. So I had to, change that until my junior year of high school, because I felt like I was facing a lot of judgment, even from certain teachers back then in my middle school. They would obviously say very negative things, talking about, oh, why are you so obsessed with that old weatherman? Like, it was just negativity that I wasn't used to, and I felt like I was closed in my own little world. It's just, I was bullied for a long time just because I obviously have an intellectual disability, and not many people know about that. And it hurt me so bad to the point where I had very negative thoughts about, oh man, it's hard to talk about it, but I've had negative thoughts of suicide in my past when I was younger. And it's really sad, for me to bring this up because it's a past that I don't want anyone else to relive. I never want anyone to go through with what I went through, disability or not. It doesn't matter. It's just like I don't want anybody going through what I went through. Because I hear a lot of stories, even on the news, about teachers not doing smack about, students saying that, like, oh, you know what, like, I feel like I'm gonna be, I'm gonna harm myself and all this other stuff. But then days later, this person or or these group of people are bullying that one person that that feels very lonely. They end up taking their own life. And I've seen the stories on the news or on social media about it. It's very sad, and I just don't want anybody to go through with what I went through for several years.
It's so amazing that you say that. You and I are very kindred. It's amazing that David thought this, but so I was 11 when I tried to kill myself, and this is like the second or third time I've ever spoken about this publicly, because my parents were celebrities. So and I grew up in Australia. I was different on a lot of different levels. So I was from another country, and in Australia at that point, we have a lot of backwards stuff with race. I'm not going to lie. I think we've got a long way to go when it comes to inclusion and diversity on a lot of scales. And so when I was younger, I was different for that. I was also singled out because I had famous parents. And so, I was bullied in the same way, and I didn't want to live. So I really, really, really understand exactly how you feel. And, this is exactly why I do what I do, because I don't want anyone to feel like that either. And I'm devastated that I'm having a conversation with a girl that's 22, who's 14 years my junior, and she still had to go through that, because that means that we haven't had change. And I always talk about change. When real change happens, it's the time that we stop talking about change. Do you know what I mean? When change is actually going to happen, it's the time that we stop talking about what inclusion is. We stop talking about what diversity is. We stop talking about people, being bullied, because all of a sudden that's just a part of normalcy, that everyone is included and we have diversity across every platform and people feel loved.
And, and it affects everybody.
I just feel like
it affects everybody. I had a friend too who left, and I still haven't gotten over it fully. So it's a domino effect that and sends waves. So it's like that. It's the waves, but it's a negative wave. And if we all work together, if we all loved each other more, then we can all heal and have more positivity.
Yeah. I feel like I'm never going to be fully healed, even though I do say sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel like, this is behind me. It's never going to be behind me, because I can't forgive, the people in my past who really left a hole in my heart, because depression and anxiety is nothing to ever joke about or ever, it's nothing, to take lightly, because at some point everybody goes through something, even especially in this long pandemic that we're in. Everybody's going through some sort of mental health struggle right now. Even I'm going through it right now, but I'm glad that I'm talking, to you and to Jessica right now, and to everyone, that will be watching this. I just want to say that if you don't have someone in your life, know that I love you, and know that everybody loves you. Because I'm tired of, I feel like I'm fed up with, with the violence that's going on, especially, in this country and other parts of the world where, oh my gosh, I really didn't want to have to get into this topic, but when I was watching, I guess, I don't know if any of you had seen the media back when there was a lot of people marching, for Black Lives Matter, and I guess in the wake of the George Floyd murders, and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, it hurt me really bad, because I'm someone that's Mexican American, and I have, friends in my life that are in the African American community, and also that are and I also do know a few transgender people in that African American community as well. And people are so quick to forget the LGBT plus community that are being either attacked or being killed. And, it's taken a toll on my mentality, because I don't want to have to hear on the news one more time about hearing another African American person or another person of color getting killed. It's disgusting that there's officers that do abuse their power. And I wanted to talk about that today, even though I didn't, think this through. It just came up in my mind that, this is what I want to say. This is another platform that I feel strongly about systemic racism in the country. It's very sad to see that nothing is being done to protect, people that are of different ethnicities, and not to mention the LGBT plus community as a whole. And I'm getting, excuse my French, I'm getting very fucking tired of it. It's really disgusting that this still happens throughout the years and nothing is being done.
But there is, you know what, because every time we have these conversations, we're doing something. Every time we're not afraid to have these conversations, we're doing something. And we are the people that are going to make it change. Like I heard Joe Biden's speech and I loved it because it was we the people. I mean, I wasn't from America, but I feel American. I feel like I'm much a part of this huge revolution as I've ever felt. Actually, I feel more affinity here right now than I ever felt in Australia, which is very interesting for me. And I'm working this out about myself. This is my home. Yeah. And I love what you're saying, because this is how we create change, and we lead the world in creating this change. That's where the things, and this is the way it's always been. And you know what? I was going to go back to one little thing you said before, because I would love to offer you a little bit of advice. Forgiveness is a very, 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 very hard thing to do. But you should remember that when you forgive, it's not for them. It's for you. Because when you can forgive, you release a little bit of that pain and you don't have to hold on to it anymore. And as someone that has been really hurt many, many, many times, that's why I forgive, because that's who I am. I'm that person. And by me forgiving you, I remind myself of that their actions have no correspondence to who I am. Their actions are because of who they are, and they have to work through that. But my actions are because of who I am. And I'm going to show people that the world is full of forgiveness and love. And I think
you're good advice. I love that. I love that advice. Just that it's very hard for me to forgive someone, because I've been hurt, for a long time, and I know what it's also like to hurt other people. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just that when I've been through my personal or now public struggles, it's very difficult, to forgive. But I think your advice, it is going to help me. I want to say little by little, it'll help me, no matter what.
Little by little, one step at a time,
Yeah. Thank you both. Thank you both. This was so healing. And you have to go through that pain to get through to the other side. And you took us on a journey of healing right here. So thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you, Yasmin. It was a pleasure. So excited, so touched to have met you. Very kindred soul.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Oh my gosh, it's just like trying not to like bust out in tears again, but
you can't. I love crying. I'm a vulnerable girl. I cry all the time. So,
I'm a vulnerable.
I know.
I start crying all the time.
Step into that superpower.
Well, let me take this time to quote Cardi B. I'm gangster. I cry at least once a month. No, but seriously, I am. I do get emotional when things, do get to me with relevant topics or mental health, and I feel really strongly about everything in general.
And if we weren't given that ability to have emotion, then we wouldn't have it. But hey, we have it. Why not just let it happen?
Yeah, it has emotions. Yeah, it has emotions at some point. I feel very relaxed right now talking about, the things that are going around, not just myself, but it's probably going around other people right now. And I want to help as best as I can with not just my words, but with my platforms.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited because now Yasmin is going to go and show you were on your pictures advertised on for
yes. So I wanted to explain it, like I mentioned before. I've gone to AIDS Walk Los Angeles since October 2017 through 2019. And I noticed that one of my pictures it was advertised not just on the AIDS Walk LA website, but also on their Instagram and their Facebook and their Twitter as well. I was just shocked, like, oh my God, that's me. And I started crying. I was like, oh my God, like I didn't think this would happen. But
Right.
that was just easy to see myself, on their, I guess on all over their social media.
Right.
It's just, I'm like, wait a minute, so a lot of people are going to see this.
Yeah.
But I was just, having a good time because I was taking photos with Eyewitness News morning anchor or midday anchor Philip Palmer. I was like, going like this. I do have the photo, I guess, from my perspective, and I think someone must have came by and took that photo. I don't know who it was, but I was just like in the moment, so I didn't know what happened.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, it's a gorgeous photo.
Thank you.
And you're both gorgeous, and thank you.
Thank you. I love this.
I do too.
Appreciate it.